Can I kiss you?
Sure.
Now breaking her silence, a week after she left fans reeling from that performance.
And I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and the Iraq, everywhere like such as, and
we've all been in situations that could be described as pretty awkward.
Go ahead, Marshall.
Okay.
Lekker spelen is...
If it feels so terrible to be in awkward situations in the first place, why do we even have to feel it? And what is it exactly? For the context of this video, awkwardness can be described as uncomfortable feelings, perceptions, or observations of being out of place in social situations. Think of it as a strong social discomfort. The foundation of awkwardness is built off of social behavior and cultural norms. We have laws and regulations that dictate what lanes we must stay in to be a functioning member of society. If you go against these laws, you risk harming others and creating potentially awkward situations that go against social norms. There are certain things we must generally do to be socially accepted by the population and those around us in our inner circles, at home and at work. It isn't illegal to shake a hand for too long, but it could make someone feel negatively about you. It isn't against the law to go on a date and ask someone a personal question, but if executed poorly, it can result in some terribly uncomfortable situations. In addition to all of this, we have cultural influences that have guided behaviors around awkwardness. In order to have survived and reproduced for this long, humans have had to cooperate. We had to work together to get along. We had to feel safe with one another. If we didn't, it would become a threat to survival. Our brains evolved with this mechanism. We need to feel psychologically safe and trusting in order to properly communicate and grow. In order to find desirable mates and reproduce, we have to feel socially comfortable with someone. The reason awkwardness feels so bad is because it's our brain's way of telling us that we aren't fitting into social norms. But there's actually a plus here. If you feel sensations of awkwardness, it actually shows that you're more in tune with social cues than you may expect. It suggests that you have empathy and understanding why a situation might be undesirable to yourself and others. After that, if you didn't ever feel awkward, how would your brain be able to adjust to social settings and cooperate with others? Research shows that too much or too little care towards social norms is actually pretty unhealthy, but just the right amount is actually a very good thing. You see, when people experience feelings of awkwardness that are appropriate and relevant to the situation, it actually shows that that person is more trustworthy and relatable. There's a term called vicarious embarrassment, also known as empathetic embarrassment, that is intrinsically linked to empathy. Feeling these awkward feelings shows that you have empathy towards others in a wide range of social situations. Awkwardness is also a fascinating feeling because it activates the same parts of the brain that physical pain does. The secondary somatosensory cortex and dorsal posterior insula process the breaking of social cues and the breaking of a bone in the same neural pathways. So it actually makes so much sense why it hurts so bad when we feel something like awkwardness. We also activate our sympathetic nervous system when we experience social challenges. This is associated with our fight or flight response. We've developed primitive reactions to uncomfortable feelings and haven't quite evolved past them yet. This explains why you might get sweaty hands during a public presentation, or a faster heartbeat before you move in for that first kiss, We have a bias towards negative experiences because it's our brain's way of keeping us aware of when we're less likely to fit in, cooperate with others, survive, and reproduce. Negative experiences have more of a physiological stimulating impact, as I mentioned earlier, as they trigger systems in our bodies associated with pain and fight or flight. Think of all the memories that you have, the strongest memories you have. It's likely that all of those have some sort of emotion tied to them, and maybe a good chunk of those may be negative emotions or feelings. These things are natural because these memories are more ingrained, they're more emotionally charged, if you will. Our brains process them so much more powerfully because we have those emotions attached to them. Some of these may come in the form of traumas. We even have more words to describe negative emotions than positive ones. We've assigned more of a language around these negative feelings. It can be difficult to experience awkwardness, and it certainly comes with painful memories and moments. In order to help alleviate some of the self-blame and self-focus, shift your perspective to one that is more broad in nature. Just as you have your awkward moments, memories, and experiences, so does everyone else. The person you met at the cash register, the guy you cut off in traffic, the annoying customer at the coffee shop. They all have lives as deeply complex and socially challenging as the next person in varying degrees. We may tend to think that everyone's thinking about us all the time and they focus on our social blunders often. But the reality is that people have such complex lives that are vastly different. They have so many other things to think about. They all experience their own versions of awkwardness. The quicker we can move past the main character syndrome and understand that everyone else has their own complex lives as well, the more we can accept those awkward moments and move on with our lives. Fitting in is really important at times, but it's also important to be yourself. When you feel awkward, move through it quickly and handle it with grace, knowing that it indicates you have empathy and a sense of what is socially acceptable. Awkward people also tend to be really good in other areas of life. Social skills are not just the only form of presenting yourself and your skills to the world. There are so many other things out there that could showcase someone's abilities and talents. We all have gifts that we bring to the table that others aren't able to. On top of all of that, we can always improve our social skills and emotional intelligence. So not all hope is lost. If you found this video helpful, any support for the channel would be greatly appreciated. I wanted to give a huge shout out to my biggest channel supporters: Aaron Freneck, Erica, Carolina, Sunny Sue, and Tony Martinez. I seriously can't thank you guys enough for all the support you've given me and the channel, as well as this community. Thank you guys so much. Remember to take care of yourselves, remember to take care of those around you, and for all things psychology to help you think, feel, and perform better, stay tuned right here on Psychology of Living.